Hey everybody, it's Onslaught here, bringing you another Disney Sorcerer's Arena video. We got a lot to cover in just a little bit of time. We're going to discuss the new patch updates, what that means for you, for your meta, for your club, and your roster. We're going to take a look at what we expect to see shift-wise from this patch, and we're even going to touch base on what we want to see coming in the future. Let's take a look. So if you hadn't been paying attention or hadn't got a chance to check it out, I know that this video is a little late, but this update came to us on June 29th, and we're just going to take a quick rundown of exactly what this update changes, the things that are included in this update, and just touch a little bit on what I'm expecting to see coming in the future for this game. So this is update 12.0. Again, this game's been out since March. Obviously, there was a beta. We saw some updates there. One of the things that I am just it's right there in the front, and I'm the most excited about, and you should be excited about too, is challenging a friend or a Clubmate Sorcerers Tournament defense team, right? And if you don't understand what this means, essentially, one of the things that this game was unable to do at this point, and not even all games like this are able to do, is to allow you to essentially test and explore with the meta. And so the problem that we see in these big games as they start to expand is if they don't have a mode like this, the only time you get a chance to explore the meta and sort of test out characters and test out, counters and strategies and if spells work here and there is in the arena, and you can't really pick the teams that you go up against. Possibly in Sorcerer's Tournament, if you're willing to risk your rank or you're willing to risk one of your attempts, things like that. So this is going to be really, really brilliant. It allows you to take your friends to communicate with them and say, hey, can you put such and such a team on defense? I want to try this team on offense against them. I want to figure out counters for the Kingdom team, maybe. That's the spot that you're stuck in. So you find somebody in your club who has the best Kingdom team, and you just have them throw it up on defense, and everybody just kind of takes turns bashing against that team, figuring out what works, what doesn't work. You get a better idea of how the AI works, different patterns to attacks, things like that. You get to figure out character positioning, different things like that. So this is a great update. It's amazing that we're having it so new and so early on in the game. It's just absolutely brilliant that's coming in here. Also, and it's in here somewhere, we got a new event coming, right? I'll go back and touch up on this in a second. So the next big thing that I'm so excited about is event towers are coming. Okay, so this is a brand new type of event. Now, we already have the Towers of Endurance, okay? So we can guess that in the tower, right, the dungeon was going down, the tower's going up. It's going to be building off of characters that we have, a specific set, a specific standard, and it's going to be causing you to kind of build through that. What I really like about new events is if you don't have enough content, players get locked into only farming specific types of characters, only owning specific types of characters. And what I like about these events is it's an event tower. It is a tower specific to an event. It's going to require a specific set of characters. It's going to probably require some characters you already own, some characters you don't own. And while at first that might seem frustrating, if the rewards are worth it, it gives players another avenue to farm in. If characters, the longer you play the game, you start to get maxed out on the characters you spent in the store, or maybe you've already 7-starred and geared up the characters that you need, and you're looking for other places to spend your money here and there. It just gives you another way to play the game, because especially from a free-to-play player's perspective, with that energy, knowing that you get done with your dailies fairly quickly in anywhere from 15-20 minutes, faster if you've kind of really figured that stuff out, a little bit longer if you're going for maxing out Sorcerer's Tournament battles or PvP battles and completing some of the club quests as well, is it gives you more ways to play the game. And as a developer to this game, that's what you want. You want to have people spending more time in the game, because the game is to an extent like a store. And from a business perspective, the longer your players are in the game, the better their experience is going to be, the more likely they are to interact with different aspects of the game, the more likely they are to spend money. Now, most free-to-play players aren't spending money no matter what. and that's fine and that's great. And events like this just give those players more of an experience and more of a reason to stay in the game. And free-to-play players like ourselves, we tend to find it frustrating if there's not enough stuff for us to do that's PvE or player versus environment type events, because then you get locked into, I've gone as far as I can playing against the players who spent no money like myself, and now I'm bashing my head against players who have spent money and I just can't get anywhere, and I look around and there's nothing for else for me to do, and then I stop logging in and I miss my dailies, yada yada yada. And we just kind of see that. So things to expect in this event. I haven't done a lot of research on it. I haven't read a little bit, but expect it to be tag specific. Expect it to be characters that require certain things. I doubt it's going to be attack only or defense only. You might see things like there are stipulations. For instance, I wouldn't be surprised if this tower was during this entire tower, characters can no longer taunt, or every attack's a critical strike, or things like that. Because when you play around with those things, it builds the environment, it gives a little bit more fun, and it exposes players to things that they wouldn't normally see. Another big change in here is that the PvP pack has changed. And we know this because we're seeing that Robin Hood can now be farmed. It was formerly Monterey Jack. So we know that we can farm Robin Hood, right? And so they've listed to us that the PvP packs are now containing Mulan shards rather than Robin Hood shards. And this is great for a whole bunch of reasons. One, it's going to help out clubs, encouraging players to complete their daily PvP battles. You want to make sure you're opening that pack every day because it's exposing you to another character. And it might be exposing you to a character that you haven't been able to farm just yet. Mulan is fairly far up on one of the chains in one of the... Oops, that's not what I wanted to click. There you go. You guys can take a look at my player score. She's fairly far up. And can I just do a search? I just do a tag for Princess here. No, Princess. Where do I find you? I might be close to her. She's available in the arena. She's available in the pack. Okay, so actually, you can't farm her. Wow, I thought she was farmable. I'm just going to double check really quick. I really thought that Mulan was somewhere along one of those chains. But if she's not, this is a great way for players to start to be able to access her. And the other reason that I really like this is because if they've already changed it once, there's a chance that they're just going to keep changing it. And so that every season we might expect to see another character. Oh, wow. Every season we're going to see another character. It'll give players another thing to farm. And while you most likely won't be able to farm them enough to unlock all of the characters, like I think with Mulan, you're going to have enough time to get your 25 wins and be able to unlock her. Oh, it's Pocahontas. That's up here. Sorry, it's Pocahontas that's up here. I thought it was Mulan. You will be able to do... I mean, the season should be long enough. I have to do math, but either way, you're going to have enough of the shards that when you come in contact with the character later on in the game, you'll be very close to unlocking them, if not having already unlocked them just through the PvP battles and just through the pack openings. It's going to incentivize players to do more of those things. It's going to be better for free-to-play players. You get a wider variety of characters. It gives them a great avenue to introduce brand new characters. So, for instance, with Mulan, you can't farm her in any other aspects of the game. So this is really nice for players who want Mulan. It incentivizes them to use their teams and explore with it. And I'm going to touch on PvP a little bit later in the video on things that I want to see changed, but I want to kind of stay after this real quick just to hold everybody here. So going back into the update of some other things, players can change their payout times 2 times every 365 days. This one I'm not familiar with. I'm guessing it has to do with rewards for clubs and rewards for when you receive things. So twice a year, you can change the time that you're going to receive those payouts, and the time that your stuff resets. If that's the case, and I think it is, I haven't done enough research, but I'm pretty positive that's what they're getting at. It makes it really nice for players who don't necessarily want the things to reset at midnight. Maybe you don't have a convenient schedule of, blah, blah, blah. But again, not the biggest part of the update, not the most exciting part of the update. You know, character effect icons getting updated, toggling VIP status so that it's either not, so it's not there and other people don't see it, fixing with the VIP request all button. Like I said, we talked on this. So some of the grand campaign changes. What I really like is that we started to introduce some of the other characters, right? So because we had previously removed Monterey Jack from a couple places, we moved him to 5L. Robin Hood is both on 6G in the grand campaign, 5A on the villains campaign. Barley is now farmable, and Ian is now farmable. So you have the ability to continue on that onward team. I think that was the biggest plus to the Incredibles event and the Frozen event, and to any of the events really, is that you can't release an event permanently. You can release it at first and expect the players to acquire everybody just through the event, unless your specific goal is that this event is going to come around more often and it is designed to take multiple shots to do it. Now, for free-to-play players, most of the events are like that. Most of the events are geared towards you farming the characters in between the different events. For instance, I've been farming up the Frozen team, and the Frozen event came out May through the beginning of June. And so I did a little bit during the event. I got through all my refreshes. I wasn't in a club, so I didn't get that extra refresh every single day, but I was able to push through, and I've been able to get Kristoff at 7 stars. Anna's going to be very close to 7 stars. Working on Gear 5 for Kristoff. I have Anna at Gear 5. And then we got 5-star Olaf, and we're going to have a 5-star Sven. And again, working on Gear 5 for them. So if I was to stop at Gear 5, I would be able to, based on the stipulations of the other event, I would be able to get Elsa to 5 stars. I'll be able to get Elsa to 5 stars. I believe that 6 stars is, it might be 6 and 5, but I know that 7 is 7 and 7 for a lot of them. Some of them are 7 stars and 6 gear for Gear 6 for the 6 unlock. And I can't remember. I can go through and look real quick because it's on here. Instead of having to sit here and speculate to everybody, I'll just go through the news because it's still down here. Also, if you don't look through this tab, just because maybe you don't care, it's worth looking through. There's really convenient videos. They give details on the pass holders, and they talk about each of the events. And you can continue to load even more of it because it'll let you know that the characters are getting introduced. It's how we knew that there was a Frozen event coming, because we saw this get popped up, and we were like, oh, if these characters are out here, then we must be getting something better. So for 6, yep, so 6 stars in Gear 5. Sorry, so with this, because my characters should all be at 6 stars and Gear 5, I should be able to get Elsa at 6 stars, which is big game to be able to get her 6 stars. So it's going to be 5. So there's a chance before the event I can get them both to 6 stars. But we're looking at a 5-star Elsa, possibly a 6-star Elsa, which is really, really big game. So updates, looking really good. Game is still moving forward. They're still making a lot of changes. They're working on bringing new content. The game's only been out since March. So we're in our 4th month of the game, not including beta. We've seen a lot of content updates. If you're part of the Discord, you've seen that they're pushing in surveys. They're trying to get an idea of what players are looking for. And to an extent, I think they're doing a pretty good job with giving us the things that we're asking for. Now, that being said, going forward, in this next little part of the video here, I want to kind of touch on other things that I would like to see I would like to see updated, that I would like to see come to the game. So one of the things I was talking to my club about earlier today was PvP. And the reason that I was talking about the PvP arena is, well, let's check out some of the rewards. So the rewards are interesting. 10 shards is a pretty big deal, right? You got to be in the Grand Champion, right? 7,000 trophies. I'm at 684. Nowhere near it, right? Well, we're getting into 4. We're getting into 2. I got 2. I'm in Silver 1. Like, it's gonna take me a little while. Like, I gotta go up to Gold 2, and that's fine and great. And so I don't necessarily have any issues with the structuring of the PvP system. I actually think the PvP structure itself is really, really good. The problem that I have, that I would like to see addressed and changed, is within the quests themselves. I'm going to claim this real quick. And so when I look at the clubs, and I look at the fact that my club has to win arena battles, and at the highest level for 1,200 tokens is to win arena battles. Now, I'm up here at 4, right? For my entire club to get to 500, everybody has to win 10 arena battles, right? Everybody has to win 5 arena battles, or sorry, yeah, 5 arena battles and 4 arena battles. So this is, one of these two is very realistic. I think the 4 is fairly realistic for competitive clubs. If I said guild, I apologize. Star Wars mindset. For your club, because that gets you the pack. And you want members of your club farming shards. You want them completing their dailies. But the problem becomes, and I've had this fairly recently, I would say starting maybe even a month ago, is that I would have to play through 5 or 6 matches before I'd even get a win. Because I had sort of hit the peak of where I was going to be, and so essentially my rank had stabilized. And that's good. Don't get me wrong. That's great. That means the system is working. It means I can't get anywhere until I better my characters, until I farm my tunes a little bit more, until I get better gear. And I really, really like that. That becomes a big problem with your club rewards, because what it forces you to do is it forces you to essentially put a team into arena that's junk and D-rank. And so you have to D-rank all the way down until you're in a position where you can actually win games. Now, some of the members of my club have hit a little happy medium where they can, like, lose 3 games in a row and then auto 3 games in a row, and they're guaranteed the wins, and they just kind of rinse and repeat that. That's really time-consuming. Not a lot of players have a lot of time for that. And so if you're in a club that needs to get all its dailies done, which I do think clubs should aspire to get all of their dailies done, this is the one part of it that it just doesn't seem feasible at the moment. And what I would really like to see is a cap at 4 battles. So I'd really like to see the cap be right here where I am, and that's the highest that the club needs to get to. And I would like to see another aspect of this, whether it's winning Sorcerer's tournament battles, whether it's for instance with the new change coming, participating in like attacking a club member so many times, equipping so much gear. I'm not exactly sure what they need to plug into, but we have dungeon mode, we have PvP mode, and we have donations. And donations are great because you want your club sharing things. The dungeon is mode because it's the club event. I'm really hoping that PvP would get knocked down a little bit and make it a little bit more accessible to the players, because right now it's just this overwhelming mountain that most of the members in my club just aren't able to get to. And we're already struggling in the battle of can we get players to even get to 1 win. Now, spoiler, disclaimer, most of these players are on the other half of the world. They will be contributing, and they typically do contribute. They just haven't yet because they're asleep. So I don't want them to watch this video and think like, he threw me under the bus. I didn't throw him under the bus. We're really good about getting our stuff done, but we had discussed today that one was really, really difficult. And when you look at the other aspects of the game, there's not a whole lot else you can look at, right? Club Conquest can't be a daily because it's that weekly event. Challenges, no. The daily event, no. Sorcerer's Tournament, possibly because it's there. Towers of Endurance, the goal is it's a solo thing. You've already kind of capped on it. So the only other thing to do is, like, these are probably going to be maxed out. I mean, I'm already pretty close to them. Granted, yes, the game is young. So you got PvP Arena. It's not bad. It's not good. It's just my 2 cents on it. Other things I would like to see is it's like I love the events, so I don't saying I want to see more events seems pointless because we're obviously going to see more events. I would like to see more characters released in solo packages, and the reason I want to see that is because with this new sandbox mode, I think it would be really, really nice to have other characters that you can acquire just as a solo, just as a single unit, and plug them into different teams, because now that we're able to test the meta and test against certain specific defenses, we don't need to have a ton of characters released all at once. I also would like to see so for instance, I would also like to see different versions of the pay to play packages. So for instance, $50 you get 80 shards of dash, but Mr. Incredibles is $15, you only get 25 shards. I would like to see tiers of these. So for instance, I would like to see the ability to buy, for instance, like a $15 or $50 package, a $25 package, and a $15 package, tiered shard based on what you need. Because for instance, even though I wouldn't be doing dash, I'm only one shard away from getting dash. For instance, if I didn't have any shards for dash, this makes sense. I spend the $50, I get the 80, I got it. But let's say I end the event and I'm like 20 shards short. I'm not going to shell out $50 to do that. But if I really wanted dash and I had some extra play money and it was like $5, $10, $15 just to pick up those other shards, like, $15, I could see players being more incentivized to do that. I would be more incentivized to do that. But those are my 2 cents. Well, there's kind of a brief update for you, going through the patch notes, telling you a little bit about the update. I hope it was helpful. I hope it was more exciting than reading it yourself. And I hope you have a little bit better of understanding of the things that are coming forward with Disney Sorcerer's Arena. Going forward in the future on this channel, you're going to start to see videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday for Disney Sorcerer's Arena. We're excited to bring you more content, to bring you some metagame testing within the club. I recently got promoted to a co-leader of my club, so big news there, big changes there. We got a lot to bring you on this page. We hope to see you the next time. If you like what you saw and you want to see more of it, hit that subscribe button. Check out some videos that we got posted, and ta-ta for now.